A good Erev Shabbos. It's good to be with you right before Shabbos. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Behar. Behar Sinai. God spoke to the Jewish people at Mount Sinai. We all know that God gave the Torah at Mount Sinai, and it's one of the most beautiful midrashic tales that speaks and tells us the story how God had all the mountains fighting that wanted the Torah should be given on them. And God chose Mount Sinai because it was the smallest mountain. It was the humblest mountain. And therefore God wanted to choose humility. One of the most famous questions the rabbis ask is that if God wanted to choose humility, choose a valley. Why choose a mountain? If you want humility, why any mountain that has a bump on it? Choose a valley that's flat, that shows true humility. And there's many answers given, but one beautiful answer that I want to share with you today is the idea of the power of humanity and the Jewish people. What differentiates us from everyone else, from every other creature, is that humans never stop growing. We always grow in our life. We always become better. We always try to change. The whole idea of leaving Egypt and coming to Sinai was about growing, was about changing, was about becoming better, was about leaving the past and aiming for something higher. Imagine if you decide to climb Mount Everest and you're a little bit up the way and some helicopter comes by and says, "Hey, why don't I give you a ride up to the top?" What will you say? Of course not, because you want to experience the journey. It's part of reaching the destination. It's the growth. It's the power of humanity. I think tomorrow, or maybe on Monday, I think, is 71 years since Edmund Hillary climbed Mount Everest for the first time. And they say the story that the year before he climbed Mount Everest, he tried in 52, but he never made it. And when he came down, they asked him, a reporter said, "What do you have to say?" And he looked up at Mount Everest and he says, "Mount Everest," he said, "this year you beat me, but next year I'll beat you." You know why? Because you've already done all your growing and I haven't stopped growing. That's the story of humanity. That's the story of the Jewish people. We never cease to grow, to become better, to change, to have more opportunities to be a finer person, a kinder person, a prouder Jew, a gentler Jew, a more loving, caring person. And that's the story of Mount Sinai. Yes, God wants a mountain because a mountain symbolizes our growth, that we're always climbing, we're always growing. Yes, we have to be humble, but we can never cease to grow as human beings, as Jews. You see what's going on in Israel this week specifically. It's been a difficult week. But as Jews, we don't get perturbed. We don't get let down. We don't get downtrodden. We continue growing. We continue fighting for the freedom and the protection of every Jew, no matter where they may be. That's the spirit of the Jewish people. That's the spirit of Shabbos. And that's what we'll be celebrating. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. And if you're able to, we have a special speaker tomorrow in Shul, the first woman who fought for women fighters to be able to fly in the Air Force. And she went all the way to the Supreme Court in the IDF, and she won. And she became one of the first female pilots in the IDF's Air Force. And she'll be speaking tomorrow at Kiddush. In any case, Shabbat Shalom, God bless you, and see you tomorrow.